Hi, everybody. This is Alan Fine. I'm here with Chiara Giorgi, the Global Brand Director for Seatrade Cruise. We are going to talk about, Seatrade Cruise Virtual coming up in October and the 35th anniversary of Seatrade Cruise Global Conference in April. We're going to talk about all that and more on Insider Travel Report. Chiara, how are you? And where are you? You're in London?
I am in London. Hi, Alan. Thanks so much for having me again.
No problem. So what's it like there now?
It's getting better. London, I wouldn't say is the perfect example of how to deal with a pandemic.
What, America is?
I did not say that either. Okay. But I was lucky over the summer to spend a little bit of time with my family in France and in Italy, and going to those countries, you can tell that they just did things a little bit differently, let's say.
But they let you in, so I'm glad.
They did. They let me in. I have an Italian passport, so I guess it's harder to refuse. So,
question: cruising started, not everywhere. Like we've had a little setback here in the U.S., but it's starting in other places. How's it looking?
It's definitely looking a lot better here in Europe because, as I said, we had a semblance of a summer, but we're also seeing the industry come back slowly. We had a very small setback in Norway with one of the cruise lines, Hurtigruten, who did get a few cases more than they wanted to. But things are looking up. We have Cunard that's sailing in France. MSC is now sailing in Italy. Costa, TUI, AMA Waterways, Sea Dream. Yes, there's quite a few that have started sailing, and we're seeing protocols actually work, which is really great.
It's been smooth sailing, as they say.
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, there have been a couple of cruise lines at the beginning that had a few cases, but because of the protocols that they had in place, they were able to mitigate the spread, which I think is the key to this.
Yes, you can't be saying, it can't happen. It can happen, but it's just how do you handle it?
Exactly, and that's what we're seeing, and it's giving us all hope, and it's giving us a framework and to work towards. I guess even I think on MSC's first sailing, there were a couple of passengers who were asked to leave,
and they went off. They were supposed to be on the tour, the specified tour that was pre-arranged and was under protocol, and they sort of snuck away.
Exactly. And so because of that, and the protocols in place, they were asked to not return to the vessel. So all of these things, I think, are going to help in building that customer confidence, which is going to be key for the industry to really bounce back and get back online. So it's exciting to see. I know it's tough when I speak to my colleagues in the US or anyone, based over in the Americas in general. It's a lot easier for us over here in Europe to see the light at the end of the tunnel because, we're starting to creep towards it. So,
well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, it's there. The hope is alive. We're getting back. We're getting back online.
Let's get down to the nitty gritty here. Let's talk about this virtual event. Please tell us about it.
Yes, so this year has definitely been an interesting year. We had to cancel Seatrade Cruise Global back in April, and then I had to do the same with Seatrade Cruise Med that was supposed to take place next week in Malaga, and our event in China at the end of the year wasn't obviously going to take place. And so we thought long and hard about what can we do as Seatrade Cruise to really help this industry come back online. And it just became apparent that we needed to find a way to bring everybody together. And so we decided to create this virtual event. And we launched that this week. Registration is now live. So you can go to seatradecruisevirtual.com. seatradecruisevirtual.com.
Yep. We're superimposing right now.
Yeah, there you go. And register for the event. We're really excited. It's taking place October 5th to 8th. And we've framed it to pretty much replicate the same 4 pillars that we would have at any of our live events. So we will have a conference element, which will take place across all 4 days. There will be a sourcing element in that we will have a trade show. So we will have exhibitors there for 3 days, from the Tuesday to the Thursday. So the buyers of the industry can go and meet with the suppliers. We will have innovation in that we have an innovation zone. So suppliers that are creating innovative products and services right now can showcase those in our innovation zone. And we have networking, because that obviously for anyone who has been to a Seatrade cruise event before will know that networking is key to our events, and really bringing that industry together.
And any key speakers we should know about?
Yes, so we're really excited to announce that we will be having a virtual State of the Global Cruise Industry keynote, which is the sort of staple event that happens at Seatrade Cruise Global every year. And we're excited that the top 4
and we need it this year.
Will be there. So we will have Frank Del Rio from Norwegian. We will have Arnold Donald from Carnival Corp. We will have Richard Fain from Royal Caribbean Group, and we'll have Pier Francesco Vago from MSC Cruises. All moderated, I know, and all moderated by our own Anne Kalosh, who's really been closest, exactly, to everything that's been going on. Anne's really been there through for years, but especially through these past 6 months. So she's going to be perfectly suited to run that discussion.
Now I can't wait. I mean, I really, that's exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be really great. I think, all 4 of them have been working really, really hard behind the scenes, and we have heard from them before, but we haven't heard from them together. And I think that I know is such a big moment of Seatrade Cruise Global every year, and it was a shame we missed it earlier this year. So I think right now at this moment, especially considering the event will take place just after, so CDC has a deadline that's coming up at the end of September to submit thoughts and recommendations and ideas.
We'll be getting the reaction to that.
Exactly, on how the cruise industry can sort of come back online. So I think it will be a really, really interesting discussion. I mean, I know I'm looking forward to it. So, but
I also think it's interesting that it wasn't Frank Del Rio and Richard Fain got together on the protocols for health.
Yes, so
which is just great that there's cooperation.
Yeah. So they have one, Carnival has one, and MSC has one. I mean, all the major cruise lines, they've all sort of created these panels of experts to really help them guide them on how to sort of come back online.
I know, but it seemed like a duplication of effort, and it was interesting to have 2 majors get together.
Yeah, I think that it was, who was it? I heard somebody talk about it the other day, and they just said that at the end they realized that a lot of the ideas they were having and what they saw as a vision, or the time frame that they had, and the people they were looking at as experts ended up coinciding, and they were like, well, why do this in 2 parts? Like, let's do this together. So it makes complete sense. It made sense also that MSC did it separately, considering they are so much more operational in Europe, and Europe was coming back online so much faster. And, you can see that now with them actually sailing. So yeah, it's going to be, I'm really interested in that session. And actually the other session that I'm really interested in, though I don't have full details for you yet, is Anne Kalosh will also be doing a session to close out the event. So on Thursday afternoon, at the very end of the event, she'll be hosting another panel discussion where we're also inviting some heavy hitters, just different heavy hitters, to really round out the discussion of what's happened that week. So we have a theme going through everything that we're doing that week, and that is the new cruise journey. So we're trying to, look at what would be the normal customer journey when taking a cruise, and each of those touch points, and how are those touch points going to be affected or changed through this period. And so we're looking forward to that sort of summary session at the end too.
So this question may be premature because you're just starting to register. So you can't tell now yet numbers or anything, but I certainly hope that you're going to get comparable to what a live event will get, if not more, because it's so convenient.
Yeah, it's a really interesting world we're living in because we have no idea. We have no benchmark to work off of. So our benchmark is to put it halfway through what we would normally get on one of our regional events and then what we would get on our global event. Because we're also cognizant that there have been a lot of people who have lost their jobs through this, unfortunately. So we're just not really sure as to how large our community is right now. That's still to be determined, but I would say we can talk about this again after the event, and I have a much clearer idea because I'm with you. I would hope that we're creating a platform and an event that can really help the industry through this period, and I would hope that anyone who is part of the industry would want to be part of this event.
Well, that's one of the things I love about Seatrade is that you are the matchmaker of the industry. That you match up the cruise lines with the suppliers, with the travel advisors, and it's all one big trade of information, and so what we need to do right now anyway.
Well, and you said it perfectly with matchmaking. The platform that we actually decide to partner with for this event is specialized in matchmaking. So it's a platform that is AI-backed sort of technology that allows when people register for our event, we ask them a set of demographics. Those demographics, we don't collect them for no reason. We collect them because it actually helps us matchmake people. So when if you register for the event and you go onto the platform, you'll be able to go and see all the exhibitors, but you'll also be able to go and see the other attendees who could be exhibitors and who could be attendees. And it'll give you recommendations on who you should be meeting with based off of your demographics. So we're really excited for that as well. And this platform will allow people to set up meetings. So you can kind of say, hey, these are the time slots I'm available to meet. And then people can request meeting times during those times. But you can also just connect with somebody and chat with them. And there's a messenger service and a video messaging service. And so we're really just trying to find a way to allow people to easily connect during the week.
I think the one thing left to do as we do all these virtual meetings is to have Amazon or somebody drop drinks off with drones at both ends so that you can actually have that drink with that person.
It'd be so great. I actually did look into that, but logistically, this industry, I wish we worked in an industry where everybody lived, I don't know, even if it was just the same country, that would be great. But I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get things to Tahiti right now. So it proved a little bit more complicated.
Okay. Now, so what else do you want to tell us about the virtual event?
Nothing. I mean, look, the normal time frame that we would be working on when it comes to our live events has shortened massively to put together this virtual event. So things are developing at such a pace that the best thing I would say is just keep checking back at seatradecruisevirtual.com for the latest on what's going on who's speaking, on what the sessions are about. And just join us for the week, because I think it will be, I would hope at least it would be an informative time for people to be able to log in and listen to these sessions. All of the sessions will be available on demand once they've gone live.
That's
so
great.
Even if, exactly, because the time, it's, again, having a virtual event, trying to find the right times for things to happen when we're a global industry is really difficult. So we've tried to create and be cognizant of this global industry so that, people can join from different parts of the world at different times. But if you miss a session, you can then listen to the session afterwards. So, it's not completely gone.
Let's be specific for the travel advisor community. What do you feel that they can get out of this?
Well, I think, as I said, the theme is the new cruise journey, right? So we're going to be talking about all the different touch points for your customers, for your clients, and what will a new cruise look like? What will cruising in a COVID era look like? And so I think, if anything, it would be really great for you guys to join and learn these things so that you can better communicate that to your clients and customers.
So what you're saying is that the attendees are the ones who can best answer that question of what the future of cruising will look like.
Well, I mean, we will have experts, obviously, on these panels trying to discuss this, but, you know, the Q&A will be available, polling will be available, and I think every conversation that I've had so far with people in the industry, we're at this crucial point where I think the customer confidence is such a big piece of it, and building that back up is going to be really important for the industry to come back online as strong as we knew it was. So for me, I think that's the thing. The more and more we can all educate ourselves as to what things are going to look like, the more and more we can then educate others.
I got you. So basically, a travel advisor will get the confidence, will receive the confidence and be able to pass it along.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm hoping from the week. I want us to walk away from that week having greater clarity on what the industry will look like moving forward.
Okay. Just a few moments. Let's talk about when we go live in April. What's that going to be like? What do we know about that?
So we're working on figuring out a hybrid element to us going live in April. The plan is still to have Seatrade Cruise Global take place April 12th to 15th in the Miami Beach Convention Center. But we also know that with the way things are going, that we have to be a little bit more flexible and fluid about it. We are planning on having this sort of digital element to it so that if people don't feel comfortable coming to the event or they can't physically travel to the event, then they can still join the event digitally or virtually.
I feel this is the way it's going to go regardless of the time from the pandemic. I think that there's always going to be people who want to be a part, who should be allowed to now that we have the ability.
Exactly. It will never replace Seatrade Cruise Global Live, that's for sure, because we're never going to be able to replicate a lot of those networking elements. But at least from an educational perspective, we would be able to, and hopefully there will be some way, and this is the part that we're still trying to figure out, is, how can you both schedule the meetings in person and virtually at the same time. But bear with us, more information will come from there. But the plan is still to go ahead. We will still have an exhibition. We will still have a conference. We will still be welcoming all travel advisors to come to the event for free on Thursday and take in that event as much as possible. Both
in person and virtually free, right?
Yeah, of course. So all of that is still in the plans. It's now just unfortunately, for the next few months, I think it's a bit of a waiting game and seeing how things improve and how things, move along, really. So,
well, I would think that even procuring guests would be difficult at this time. We need to wait and see, and who can actually make the trip.
Okay. Well, this is it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, what else? We've got over 100,000 travel advisors watching. Anything else you want them to know?
No, I think, the biggest thing is, for sure, if you really do want to know what's going on in the cruise industry, make sure to check out Seatrade-cruise.com, because that is where Ann Kalosh and our other editors work really hard to make sure to bring you all the news. And they really are the most up-to-date when it comes to what's going on in the industry. And then from there, you can see our Seatrade Cruise Talks, which is our sort of live webinar series. So we release a piece of digital content on a weekly basis that's fully curated, so sort of separate to the news. And then, now we'll have Seatrade Cruise virtual. So if you're free that week, I would suggest coming along and joining the discussion.
And we're now active in podcasting. All of our videos are podcasted. This one as well. You have as well, too.
Yeah, so the podcast series is actually part of the Seatrade Cruise Talk series.
Okay.
So this week, we're actually releasing a podcast. We're not releasing a webinar. So it's sort of, they alternate depending on what's going on. Right now, we feel like with virtual coming up in 4 weeks' time, we're releasing more podcasts than webinars just because the podcasts are a little bit easier to manage. So, yes. So,
okay.
But yeah, that would be my suggestion.
So thank you for talking to us. We will see you at Seatrade Cruise Virtual, I guess.
Yes, excited to have you, Alan.
Thank you. And this is Alan Fine for Insider Travel Report.